So here's how Mrs. Zebedee is processing all the information she has. Jesus is going to be killed. He's just said that. He has promised that the first is going to be decided in a new fashion. And the way they're going to be selected is by their servitude, by their willingness to sacrifice, by the fact that they are last. That's going to make them first. And he has told the disciples that they will have thrones and that they will judge the 12 tribes. That's the information this mother has. Let's not only consider the information she has, let's consider the method of her inquiry. Consider the method. Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee came to Jesus with her sons, bowing down and making a request of him. Bowing down in the Greek is the word that normally in most other verses is translated by our English word worship. So Mrs. Zebedee has a request to make of Jesus. And she comes and worships him to make that request. She came forward and lowered herself, fell in homage in making the request. This is not a request that stems from a heart of arrogance or entitlement. This is not a mother This is a mother that's coming with great humility. She's asking, worshiping Jesus. Do you have a special place for my two boys? It's a prayerful request from a loving mother whose motivation is founded upon her understanding of the information that she's received. So consider her information, consider the manner in which she made her inquiry, and then also consider her honorable intention. Consider her honorable intention. What do you wish? Command that in your kingdom these two sons of mine may sit one on your right and one on your left. Command. The word that is used there carries the idea of, I want you to speak an oath that will affirm your decision. In other words, Jesus, I want you to make a decision about my two boys, and I want you to verbalize an oath. I want you to make a contract that that's how it's going to be. She's asking that Jesus make his decision, and that decision be to put her sons on the right and left. But what does that request represent? Is she asking for a place of ease for her sons? Is it a longing for luxury in the kingdom? Or is it a labor in Christ? Or is she processing this new kingdom of yours, this spiritual kingdom of yours? I want my boys involved in that. And I want them so involved, could you right now make an oath, make me a promise that they're going to be your right and left-hand man? That they're going to be instrumental in working in this kingdom. She was praying for her boys to be involved in kingdom business. She seems to be longing for her two sons to be active in the kingdom of Jesus. That's why she's making this request. And then consider her ingenuity. Consider her ingenuity. This mom had tremendous expectations of James and John. She had spiritual expectations of her two boys. And so she came to Jesus. She was not satisfied with her two boys thinking they could be doorkeepers in the kingdom of Jesus. She wanted them at a position of right and left hand. Are we witnessing brashness and presumptuousness in this request, or a spirit of boldness that is unwilling to settle for mediocrity? How many are satisfied with barely making it through the kingdom door? And here is a mom says, I just don't want my kids in your kingdom. I want them working in your kingdom. And I want them so active, I want them so important in your kingdom, Jesus, that they're at your right and your left hand. Far too many are content to sit back and let things happen. I think Mrs. Zebedee wanted her sons in chairs of activity where they made things happen. That's what I think was her request. Perhaps Mrs. Zebedee offers us some positive lessons for spiritual mothers. Could it be? Let's conclude by turning a bad rap into a good rap. Mrs. Zebedee, number one, was attentive to the truth. She gathered in information. She heard the teachings of Christ. She assembled those thoughts, and she acted from those thoughts. Mothers, that's a powerful lesson for you today. You be attentive to the truth. Secondly, she prayed for what she thought best for her boys. She prayed for what she thought best for her boys. I don't know that there's a mother that doesn't pray for what she considers to be best for her children. But the difference perhaps is Mrs. Zebedee was concentrating on what was spiritually best for her two boys. She wanted her boys to live with the promises of Jesus, within those promises of Jesus. And then she longed for her sons to be active in the kingdom. Mothers, this is an honorable path for you to imitate. Number one, understand truth, seek to comprehend truth. Number two, pray for the best spiritual things for your children. Number three, live in Jesus' promises. Jesus has promised that the last will be first. Our world teaches us now that the greatest values is to put yourself forward, to advance yourself. Mothers, live within the promises of Jesus. Teach your children the values that you understand. Pray for those values. And then lastly, seek to raise active children. Children active in God's kingdom. What a powerful thing, moms. Do you want your kids to be on the right and left hand of the church that they grew up to be a part of? Think about that. Are we raising our children to be elders and preachers and deacons and servants and Bible class teachers? Are we raising our girls to be wives of servants? Are we raising them to serve in the avenues that they're able to serve? Are we raising them that way? Are we setting that example? There's a VBS sign-up chart. I don't know if anybody's mentioned that today. Set the example. Bad rap. Now, it may be that we can actually figure out who Mrs. Zebedee was by comparing some passages, but I just avoided even the possibility of giving her a first name because I wanted her to be to us this somewhat nebulous character to whom all of us could relate. Mothers, this gal perhaps has some amazing traits.